Hello and welcome to the 99th Monkey Liberty News for the day, which happens to be November 12th, 2013. Yep, 11/12/13. I saw a tweet this morning from someone who said they feel like that indicates moving ahead. So that's a good thing. The first focus of today's news is this video from Mark Dice, paid Obamacare propaganda in major TV shows exposed. They're offering $500,000 to include Obamacare in TV plot lines. And Mark is focusing on this article from Fox News, but I could have just referenced that link, but Mark kind of made this topic fun, so I included the video link instead. Hope you enjoy that. And I do have a lot of links this morning, so I'm probably going to be moving through sort of quickly. From Alan B. West is an article, Obama has no credibility, no honor, and no integrity. And this is a rather sad article. It's an African-American man writing kind of sadly about Obama and how this presidency has moved through the years so far. From InfoWar, DHS funds installation of white boxes that can track population of entire city. And this is breaking. InfoWars said that in the tweet that this was from a whistleblower who let them know about this. And here's the first paragraph. Strange new off-white boxes popping up in downtown Seattle use Wi-Fi networks that can record the last 1,000 locations of a person using their cell phone's MAC address. But the Department of Homeland Security, which funded the network to the tune of $2.7 million, has refused to address the nightmare privacy implications of a system that could lead to permanent tracking of an entire city's population. Maybe they'll make it public, like, hey, where's so-and-so? He should have been here by now. Well, let's just check in with the white box and see where he is. How'd you like that? It bugged me when parents started to use cell phones to track their kids' locations. That would have ruined my childhood and teen years. I don't think I would have been the same person I am if my parents had been able to track me all the time. I had some adventures, and we were watching a video on Sunday about surfing and mountain climbing enthusiasts, and one of the guys said it's not an adventure until something goes wrong, and we need those experiences to round us out as people. But back in line with the idea of being tracked and monitored constantly, whenever I hear about these devices, and whenever Alex Jones goes on a rant about how he's known about this stuff since 1998, I think about this film, The Conversation, from 1974. And okay, it's not real high tech, and it required, a man constantly working to survey a body. But he was able to know exactly what was going on in their lives through the technology that was available publicly, that people knew about in 1974. So this is nothing new. And the interesting thing about this film is that what was actually happening was misinterpreted to some extent. And the listener, played by Gene Hackman, ended up having tremendous regret about having participated in this. And interestingly enough, Gene Hackman was also in a sort of remake of this with Will Smith that was called Enemy of the State. Also an excellent movie that shows just how easy it is to track one person. And sometimes that might be an innocent person. If you have friends who don't believe that the spy grid is a threat, have them watch The Conversation and Enemy of the State and think about it. Here is an article about Bitcoin. PayPal does on average $397 million a day in transactions. In the past 24 hours, Bitcoin did 396 million. Now, some people don't agree with that. This is Reddit. But the article that was referenced, or the website that was referenced, is bitcoinwatch.com. So you can go through here and extrapolate for yourself if you're interested. But Bitcoin just is almost always somewhere in the background of conversation going on among Liberty people these days. And everybody's watching Bitcoin. I'm guessing there will probably be some other alternative currencies that will crop up that will become newsworthy also, but Bitcoin has certainly taken off. Personally, I don't think it has value as currency because there's too much speculation, and I'm hoping that there will be some currencies, so either Bitcoin will level out or there will be other alternative currencies that are not used for speculation as much, so they'll be more stable. Here, Natural News has an article, Geoengineering to Reduce Climate Change Could Adversely Affect Rainfall, Scientists Report. Yeah, just some not good news from Natural News on that one, but I guess we're all kind of aware of that. I just want to keep people up to date. This is above top secret, JFK assassination and Indonesia gold agreement, old documents, and the missing link. This is an older article. This is from October of this year, October 10th. But it does kind of tie together, it kind of ties in JFK, and it's not a real in-depth article for people who are wanting to have just a little bit better understanding. For those who do want something more in-depth, here are the scanned images of the documents that are referenced in the other article. This article obviously is not written in English, but you can look at the scanned documents and get an idea. You know, if you just want to right-click or control-click if you have a Mac and view image, and then you can use your plus and cause it to be bigger, so enlarge, so that you can see these more clearly. But interesting stuff, and they certainly seem to be authentic. So when things are still kind of seem to be in upheaval about nobody's really sure what's going to happen with the financial system, as Benjamin Fulford stated yesterday in his blog, there are still some countries who are resisting the global financial reset. We'll see what happens with all that, but here's some background for those who might be interested. And I know this article is in some other places. I happened to see David Icke's tweet, and that's how I became aware of it. So I used his website. Vaccine fraud exposed. Measles and mumps making a huge comeback. And evidently there have been some admissions by Merck virologists that vaccines are designed to fail. And I will just leave it at that. Enough said, right? That's self-explanatory. And I have another Fritz Springmeier Facebook status he's written that's, of course, kind of long. This one, Revelations of State Murder and Rape of Boys. And this is a history of a juvenile detention center. It's called a state reform school for boys, which for years raped, tortured, and murdered the boys in its custody with impunity. And this is not just one, this isn't a unique occurrence. This tends to happen in such places. And here is a YouTube video, Sun, Sea, and Satan, full documentary about similar incidents at a Jersey Island children's home called Haut de la Garenne. I don't speak French, obviously. Very sad video. I've watched it. It might not get into some of the depth or be aggressive in the way that some of us might like to see, but I think they're on a shorter leash in England, what they can actually say. Although, of course, David Icke's not, right? Here's an article I'm putting in because it looks like it has interesting information. Hungary kills the Rothschild banks ordered to vacate country. As far as I can remember, this is the first I've heard of this website, Political Velcraft. And I'm not really sure, absolutely. I haven't really had time to vet this. But as I said, there's a lot of information here. And if somebody knows something that's negative or positive about people putting this out, please let me know. In a couple of days, on November 15th, the FDA is going to close the acceptance of submitted comments on food safety rules. I have a couple of websites here that are asking people to contact the FDA, take action on FDA's proposed food safety regulations, exemption for small-scale producers under threat, and some of these proposed food safety regulations are going to make it very difficult for organic farmers to operate. And there's some detail here. And then this website makes it very easy to submit a comment. And this is Organic Consumers Association. Tell the FDA don't impose unfair burdens on local, organic, and sustainable vegetable farms. Now, here's a little suggestion for a comment. And who knows, this might make them angry and they won't listen to you. But it strikes me as really odd that some of these historically proven farming methods are being called into question when GMOs get through the door with very little, if any, proof that they are safe. And of course they're not safe. That's why they have so little proof. But the bar is so low for them to prove. You know, they do things like expose adult bees to something, and if they live for, I forget if it was 24 or 48 hours, it's considered safe. Well, that's just insane. That is not a scientific test to gauge whether it's safe or not, even just for bees. So, as I said, you could mention that, or that might not come off as well as just being positive about organic food and how it has helped you and how positive it is. Here from Natural News is the good news of the day. Nigella sativa is cancer's worst nightmare. And if you happen to know anybody battling cancer, or if you know people that are just afraid of cancer, out on every pink ribbon walk and really concerned about it, maybe you can let them know that, hey, there are natural cures. And it looks like this has potential to be one of them. With that, thank you for tuning in for today's news. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Hoping that you will love one another, take care, and insist on liberty.